Here's the problem. We've only scored 42 goals this season. They've scored 63. They've scored 21 more goals than we've scored. And their weakness is they get scored against, but our weakness is we don't know how to score. But here's the thing. When you dissect Ruben Amorim's system and tactics even more, you find out that he has 4 regular ways that he likes to beat the press. And that's why in the press conference last week, he said something about we have to be better at second balls. If we're not going to have a good transfer window this summer because Onana did something like this, I will lose my mind. Our goalkeeper can't be giving them easy chances or rebounds. When he makes a save, he's got to make a save. Knock it out. I don't care. Give him a corner. Don't leave it in front of your box. Come on. I would lose my mind too. I would punch a TV, throw something, whatever. Okay, so this video is going to primarily focus on our final against Tottenham this Wednesday. You guys asked for this video in the last watch along. I wasn't planning on making this video, and you guys told me during the last watch along, make a video about the Spurs game, the final, what we have to do to win that game, and if or not, I believe that we are going to win that game. So this is coming to you because you asked for it. What's up, YouTube? Thank you for being with me once again. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. Thank you for all that you guys have done for me in this last week. Guys, the last video got over 17,000 views and we got 400 new subscribers. So I just want to say a big thank you from me to my regular watchers. Guys, when I first started this channel, it took me a year to get 1,000 subscribers. And then after that, it just kind of snowballed. And now we're getting close to, I don't know, 800 subscribers a month. And it's all thanks to you guys who click that like button, who share my videos on X and stuff like that. And you guys come, get involved, you comment, you talk to me, you let me know what you want to do. You join me in the watch alongs. Thank you so much for everything you've done. If you're new to the channel, don't worry about subscribing yet. Wait till you watch what I have to say. If you like what I do, if you like what I have to say, then consider subscribing. And by the way, it would really be good for you so that you understand what I'm talking about when I start breaking down Ruben Amorim tactics and I talk about what we need to do to play better. If you would watch the video with this thumbnail here. That's a video that I made because I've made over 10 videos about Ruben Amorim tactics in the past. So that's a video I made. Basically like a best of, but not really, because it was after the 5 videos. I made another 5 after that. But after the first 5 videos, I put the basics of Ruben Amorim's tactics in that video. I just kind of edited 5 videos into one. It will really help you guys to basically follow along with the things that my regular viewers already know about Ruben Amorim. And I promise you that if you watch that video, you're going to see and hear things you haven't seen in any other videos. I don't usually talk about team shape and things of that nature. I like to focus on individual players and what they're assigned to do, what their tasks are in a Ruben Amorim style of play, if you will. You know, Ruben says all the time, it's not about formation. It's not about systems. People focus too much on the 3-4-3. It's not about that. It's a philosophy of how to play football. And that's kind of what we talk about in that video. Guys, that thumbnail that I just showed is not clickable. So if you try to click on it, it's not going to work. But I am going to put the clickable thumbnail at the end of this video. The reason why I didn't make that clickable is because I don't want you to leave yet. The things I'm going to say right now in this video are going to be pretty simple to digest, most of it. Some of it that you don't understand, once you watch that video, you'll get a better understanding of, and you'll know what it is I'm talking about when I say things like zone 16 or zone 18, which are basically the zones up in the corners of your opponent's half of the field, if you will. Now, let's jump into this video and let's start talking about the final this Wednesday and what we have to do to win that game. Because winning that game is the most important thing we've had all bloody season. And Spurs have beat us pretty much every time they played against us this season. Even Gary Neville in the overlap said that he's very nervous about the game on Wednesday. He's almost not even looking forward to it because he knows if we lose that game, it means a lot for us. It might mean, and the way Gary Neville put it, and you know Gary Neville has inside information. He knows Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He talks to these people. He knows things that he's not letting us know. And the way Gary Neville put it is that if we don't win this game, it's going to cost us a big summer transfer window. We're going to have a smaller summer transfer window, which is something we've all said, but to hear Gary Neville say it is kind of comes from a different place. It makes it real, if you will. If we don't win, Gary said it's going to cost us the summer transfer window, which basically means that it's going to slow down our rebuild process probably by years, not by one summer. It might hurt us for the next 2 or 3 summers. And it might also lead to having a bad start to the season next season, where now we're talking about if this manager is the right manager or not. I fully believe that this is the right manager, but he needs his players. So we need to win this game so we can give him his players and not just 3 players. He's going to need 5 players minimum this summer, and all 5 have to be able to contribute. They have to be able to come in and step into the team and contribute right away. They can't be young kids that we have to wait to develop. That's all fine and dandy, and that could be the extra signings, but we need 5 players that can contribute. But anyway, let's get back into this video. I'm going to try not to get sidetracked. So this video is about the Spurs game and how we're going to beat them. The first thing we have to do is look at Spurs and break them down as a team. And I'd like to look at their stats first to kind of understand why they are where they are, how they got there, and try to expose them for their weaknesses and see what we can do. So Spurs are being coached by the big, crazy Australian, little charismatic character in Big Ange Postecoglou. And he is a little bit crazy, and his tactics are basically a reflection of his personality, which is kind of fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, I hate them right now because I need to beat them. But you can admit that watching a Spurs game is always exciting. And the game on Wednesday should be exciting. God, I hope we win, though. I don't want to be like exciting and then end up crying at the end. But let's get back to his tactics. His tactics have led to them scoring an impressive 63 goals in the EPL this season. 63 goals is not to be scoffed at. And in a normal season, that's good enough to make top 5. Actually, this season, in the top 5 teams right now, you got 2 teams that have 63 goals or less. So they should have at least made top 7 with that amount of goals. But they're not. They're worse than us. They're in 17th place. And if you dive in deep, you figure out that they've actually been scored against 61 times, and that is not good. Being scored against 61 times is really, really bad. A good team usually gets scored against less than 50 times. That finishes in the top, let's say, 5 or 6 teams in the EPL historically. And they've been scored against 61 times. That's their weakness. Their strength is they score a lot of goals. Their weakness is they get scored against a lot. Here's the problem. We've only scored 42 goals this season. They've scored 63. They've scored 21 more goals than we've scored. And their weakness is they get scored against, but our weakness is we don't know how to score. Okay? So that's what makes it a tricky proposition. Now, how do they score their goals? They score their goals mostly by pressing high like mad dogs. They press crazy. They play a very, very high line. They try to win the ball back early, and then they score in transition after just making 1 or 2 passes or 1 dribble and coming at you and scoring a goal. But they also get scored against because of that very same tactic, because they use a very high line and they press like mad dogs and they hunt in packs. They press with multiple players at the same time, even sometimes around the same person with more than 1 player. That means that you almost always have an open player of your squad somewhere on the field. As long as you're quick to see and you make decisions quickly and you make decisions smartly, you can probably find an open player. But here's the thing. When you dissect Ruben Amorim's system and tactics even more, you find out that he has 4 regular ways that he likes to beat the press. Don't get me wrong, other managers use these same tactics too. Some use some more than others. Some have even different ways with different players. But there are 4 different ways to beat the press. And it's really good that we just talk about this, because even if we weren't talking about Ruben Amorim, these are good things to just know. So out of the 4 different ways we beat the press, which, by the way, there is no hierarchy. There's not one way that's better than another way. It's just your squad, your team. What can you pull off? The first way I'm going to talk about is the way that we pull off the least amount of times. So I want to talk about that and get it out of the way, and then we'll concentrate on the other 3. The one we pull off the least amount of times is having a special player. Think like Rodri on City, or like Frankie de Jong that we were about to get. These guys are special press-resistant players. These guys know how to use their opponent's momentum against them. Rodri, Frankie de Jong, these guys are not fast. But they know that when someone's pressing, especially the way Spurs players press, coming at you like a mad dog running at full speed, you can use his momentum against him. So if you receive the ball and you know the guy's running at you like crazy and he's running at you kind of on your left side, if you can receive the ball and get the ball with your first touch to your right side, by the time that guy slows down, to turn around and chase you in a different direction, you've already left them behind. Now, even if you can't do it on your first touch, like Frankie de Jong sometimes doesn't do it on his first touch, you at least receive the ball on your first touch to your correct side. And then because of his momentum, you, like, let's say the guy hasn't come to you yet, so he's still running at you. Your first touch is happening too early for you to pass him with your first touch. You settle the ball with your first touch. You still use his momentum against him. You go around him. And if the guy slows down his momentum, that's fine too, because now you have time to play a pass. You don't have to worry about going around him. These are special players who basically can slow down the game in their own mind. They're very, very aware of their surroundings and what is going on. They know exactly how much time and space they have to make that thing happen. Now, even though we don't have that kind of special player, and actually, if I had to say that we have someone who's capable of those special moments really, really often, it would be Joshua Zirkzee, but obviously he's not going to be available for the game. At least I don't think he is. We do have players who are capable of special moments like this. Mainu is one that I think everybody's probably thinking about right now, but I will argue and tell you that I've seen Casemiro do it lately, I've seen Bruno Fernandes do it lately, and I've seen Mason Mount do it too. But the reason why I bring up these players, and I'm not saying names like Garnacho and Ahmad, is because these special moments, or this thing to break the press, kind of needs to happen centrally, not out on the wing. If it happens on the wing, it doesn't really beat the press. You got other people backing them up on the wing. It's too far away from the center of the field. It needs to happen centrally, because once you beat that guy with that first touch, or not the first touch, with the dribble after the first touch, because that's when he's running at you, it opens up passing lanes galore, and you basically end up running at your opponent's goal with the numbers advantage, because you just left one guy behind. So hopefully we'll have 1, 2, or 3 of these kind of moments where Bruno Fernandes or Casemiro will dribble past an oncoming presser, and we'll have a wide open look at their goal and see what we can do from there. That's one. Another way to beat the press that Ruben Amorim employs a lot, or wants to employ even more, I would say, but you can see it actually happening. I'm showing examples here of attempts of it happening, is the 1-2 pass. Now, this is where it actually starts out on the wings or the sidelines. The sideline player gives it to the central player, and then the central player passes it back right away after 1 touch, maybe 2 touches at the most. But the sideline player and the central player have to be on the same wavelength. They have to understand what's about to happen, and they have to play. And again, that's one way to beat the press, because the guy's moment, you're using your opponent's momentum against him. When the guy's running at me, and I don't think I can dribble past him, and he's coming at me at full speed, if I make a pass centrally and take off running, like Bruno should have done in this example, but Bruno didn't see it. Bruno didn't see it here, and it's unfortunate, and I can't have him make mistakes like that in the final, because this was easy to see. You pass it centrally, the guy's momentum is taking him this way, you run the other way. Even if you're slower than the guy who you're playing against, the fact that he has to slow down his momentum, stop, change directions, and run the other way, you're going to win that race. I don't care how slow you are. You're going to win the race, because he's going in the wrong direction, and he still has to stop and turn around. And we have to see these moments happening. I was very impressed a couple of games ago. We were doing a watch along, and Dorgu switched sides to play on the right side, and Ahmad was playing in front of him. And I told everybody in my watch along that I actually think I like this idea, because I think Dorgu and Ahmad can play some 1-2s and play well together, and they did. That's something we need to look for maybe in the second half. If things aren't going our way, Ruben might want to switch it up and put Dorgu and Ahmad on the same side, on the right side, and see if they played a 1-2 pass. And don't get me wrong, I don't think we're going to start that way. I think Diego Dalot might actually start the game. And even if he doesn't, I don't think Dorgu will start on the right side with Ahmad in front of him. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Ahmad didn't have a great start to the last game against Chelsea we just played. I love Ahmad, but that wasn't one of his best performances. But anyway, that's the second way you beat the press, by doing the 1-2 pass, by reading your opponent's momentum and speed, passing around it, using each other as teammates, and just being ahead of the play, understanding what's going on here. They're running at you. Pass it and go. Go the other way. This guy's not going to be able to slow down and catch you, and we will get past the press. And that, look, I'm talking about this because you know that's what Spurs are going to do. They're going to press, and we're going to have to beat the press all day long, all game long. If we get anxious, if we get nervous, if we let them beat us with the press and keep winning the ball back, we're going to lose this game. So that's the second way to beat the press that Ruben Amorim uses often. The third way Ruben Amorim likes to beat the press is by playing one of his inside tens or forwards, one of the forwards, because the striker too will drop right in between the center backs and the midfielders. When the midfielders start pressing, that hole will open up. It will become actually bigger. And then one of the center backs or the wing backs will ping the ball to that central player who's occupying that hole. That person has to take one good touch to settle the ball and then right away play it to one of his teammates. Usually you'll play it backwards. So it's like a ping ball to the front, played backwards, and then that player who's receiving the ball, usually Bruno Fernandes, will spray it out to the wider players who are going to be wide open at this point, ready to receive the ball and ready to start an attack. Sometimes that player can take a central pass, touch it, and then spray it out wide himself. He won't have to spray it backwards. But most of the time, it's a touchback and played backwards. Guys, this, unfortunately, is something that Joshua Zirkzee was also pretty good at. Mason Mount isn't bad at this either. He's very good at taking these positions. But the key here isn't just the guy who's making that touch, the guy playing in the pocket. That's not the only key. The window to make the pass to him is a very small window. So your center back has to send that ball quickly. And I think that's what Ruben Amorim was employing against Chelsea this past weekend. We saw our center backs pinging balls into that pocket a lot of times. Unfortunately, Rasmus Højlund made a mess out of most of them. Guys, I know we're probably all sitting here. You guys are sitting here watching me say this and you're going, Rasmus isn't going to play. Or at least if Rasmus plays, Ruben Amorim will be making a big mistake. I don't know, guys. I think Rasmus is going to play. And it's not because Ruben Amorim would be making a big mistake. It's because we do need a number 9. Now, some of you are going to say, why not just play Garnacho or somebody else as a false 9? Here's the problem. The fourth way Ruben Amorim likes to break down a press, and it's a tactic he uses very often, it's the long ball. The goalkeeper is going to be kicking a lot of long balls forward, bypassing the press into your striker, and that can't be Garnacho. Garnacho's not going to bring down that ball. Neither is Mason Mount, neither is any other player that we have available who plays in the forward line. I've even heard silly things like we should let Harry Maguire play up front. That's not an option. Let's be real. Harry Maguire is not going to play in our forward line, or at least not going to begin the game that way. If we get desperate, last 10 minutes of the game, send Harry Maguire forward. Sure, I'm all for that. Hopefully, we'll never get to that point. I really hope this game ends up like the first leg against Bilbao, whatever. Athletic Club, Bilbao, whatever. The first leg where we scored 3 goals in the first half, we put the game to bed early, and the second half was just smooth sailing. I really hope this game goes like that. I doubt it because Spurs have always given us a challenge this season, but I really hope we punish them for their high line and their pressing early in the games, put 3 past them in the first half, and just kind of take it easy in the second half, secure our goal, and not let them score. But it's not going to happen if our striker can't settle the ball when it's pinged to him or when it's kicked high to him. That's the fourth way Ruben Amorim loves to beat the press, and that's why in the press conference last week he said something about we have to be better at second balls, creating second ball opportunities and winning the second ball. It's what he likes to do. Gyökeres is amazing at it. It's the reason why I worry about Liam Delap. I'm not sure. I think Liam Delap is good at those kind of duels, good at the knockdowns, good at the hold-up play. Rasmus is absolutely horrible at it. Liam Delap would do a much better job than Rasmus, so I'm not worried about that. And again, that video is coming soon where we talk about summer transfers and what needs to be done. There's a lot more to talk about in that video with a lot of statistics and data analytics. I can't wait for you guys to see. I'm really happy about that video, and it will be coming soon. I don't know when I'm going to release it. It depends on how the game goes on Wednesday and how we all feel about Wednesday, and if I want to add some things I saw in the Wednesday game into that video. But anyways, let's finish this video first. The fourth way is the long ball. The long ball usually is kicked centrally for the center striker to bring down and distribute, and then we move forward from there. But also the long ball is used in zone 16 and 18, and those of you guys who've been with me a very long time understand what I'm saying here, because it's something that Ruben did with Sporting a million times. He did it all the time, at least 7 to 8 times per half. Not per game, per half. In our squad, we do it about 4 or 5 times per game. It's not enough. It's not happening. And I'll tell you why. I'll show you some examples. Here's an example of Bruno leaving it short during that Spurs game, the last Spurs game we had. He left this pass short. But here's another example where, because this pass, by the way, doesn't always go to the striker. It does go to the striker a lot, but it also goes to anybody, inside 10, wing back, because when a team is pressing you, if they're pressing you full on like mad dogs, like this team does, those zones are wide open for the taking. Those zones are wide open for taking. Somebody just has to take the risk to run. Whoever has the most wide open lane needs to go there. And here, Delo should have gone, and he didn't go. And Bruno kicks the ball out of bounds. It looks like Bruno made a bad pass, but he didn't. This was a bad read from Delo. We can't have that. That's a part of the hesitation. And I want to talk about hesitation. Hesitation is what's killing us and why we lost those games against Spurs earlier this year. Here's an example of Delo calling for the ball. He's literally waving his arm, calling for the ball. And when he gets the ball, you can see the two forwards, especially Xerxes here, calling for the cross, and Delo doesn't cross the ball. He just sits there on it. I don't know what he's doing. I honestly don't know what he's doing. In a Ruben Amorim system, I've showed you guys this in old videos, Sporting had the most crosses in the Portuguese league by a country mile. I mean, they had so many more crosses than the second team in the league that crossed the ball. He loves having the ball crossed. Most of our goals come from crosses, but most of them are from cutback passes after the end line run. You guys know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, that's why I'm saying you got to go watch that video that I'm going to link to the end of this, and you'll completely understand what I'm saying. We need to not be hesitant when it's time to cross the ball. And if you're going to hesitate, if you're not going to cross the ball and you're in Delo's position, then you better have a reason to, because you're going to let go of a pass by your second touch, or you're going to attempt to take the ball all the way down to the end line so you can make that cutback cross on the floor that Ahmad is so good at doing. And Ahmad's been fantastic at it. And whenever Garnacho tries to do it, he's had some of his best games. The problem with Garnacho is most of the time he wants to cut to the center and take the shot himself. But more often, if they would either cross the ball or try to get the ball all the way down to the end line as far as they can, at least, before sending a ground ball, a ground cross in back to the penalty spot so that we can have an easy goal. That's when we score our most Ruben Amorim-esque goals. But we can't be hesitating to do that. So here is another time where Delo gets the ball again, and again he hesitates, and he starts blaming other players for not making diagonal runs. If the other player's not there making a diagonal run, don't complain, just cross the ball. Cross the ball, get it in the box. Get it in the box, create chances, create opportunities, become a threat, make them have to clear it. We might get a corner out of it. We can't be hesitating. And then, more importantly, two things. Number one, our goalkeeper can't be giving him easy goals. Our goalkeeper has to make saves and knock the ball out. This is a final. I don't want to see stupid things happen. Please, I will lose my mind if we're not going to have a good transfer window this summer because Onana did something like this. I will lose my mind. Our goalkeeper can't be giving them easy chances or rebounds. When he makes a save, he's got to make a save. Knock it out. I don't care. Give him a corner. Don't leave it in front of your box. Please do what any sane goalkeeper would actually do for once. Number two, we are going to get some easy opportunities against Spurs because, like I said, they are a little bit chaotic, they are a little bit frantic, and we should be getting easy opportunities if we're smart and we move the ball to the open person, like we did in this play. But we cannot make nothing of those opportunities. We can't be missing easy chances like this. Look at how the manager's reacting here. That is like, no, come on. I would lose my mind too. I would punch a TV, throw something, whatever. You don't need to score, but you need to keep it on goal. You can't sky it into the freaking stands when you're that wide open. Make the goalkeeper have to make a save. Please, at least do that. At least make the goalkeeper have to make a save if you get an easy opportunity like this. There it is, guys. That's pretty much everything in a nutshell. Find the watch along link on YouTube. Click on the notify. Come watch me and watch the game with me. I will be on about 30 minutes before kickoff. We'll be talking a little bit about tactics while we're watching the game. You know, if I don't like blow my head off because we're doing something stupid and I can keep my wits about me, then we will be talking about tactics. Come out. Hopefully you'll enjoy and you'll have fun with me. I try to read everybody's comments so that everybody feels like they're involved, and I want everybody involved. And hopefully we'll have a good time. We'll celebrate a win. You guys know I read every single comment on video, so go ahead and post some comments underneath this video, and I will read every comment the first 48 hours after I post a video. After that, I pretty much work on the next video and I move on from that video. Besides, 48 hours after this, we're going to be watching the final. I'm not going to read the comments after the final. And for those of you who are new, consider subscribing if you did like this video, and if you're still here, if you're watching this, go ahead and click on this link. Where is the link? It's over there. I don't know where it is. Click on the link with the Amorim face on it, and you will see more things about Sporting Ruben Amorim, how he wants to play, and I guarantee you'll like that video. Most people who watch that video tell me nothing but good things. Guys, thank you very much. I'll see you on Wednesday. Let's freaking win this game. Let's win this game and have a good summer transfer window. See you. Bye.